Welcome to the Chainsaw Diaries. Chainsaw Diaries is coming to you from Immortals Inc. Studios. Chainsaw Diaries is brought to you by Hammerhead Games. Check them out for all of your gaming accessory needs. Welcome to the Chainsaw Diaries. TCD Matt and the crew here. We got TCDG, TCD Jeff, the people's hero.
What is up? It's been a while. I feel like it's been a while.
It has been a while. And speaking of it being a while, it's been a year of 40K, guys.
That it has. Little round of applause.
Someone give him a segue, Nico.
Hey, I'll tell you.
That was good. That was good.
I've been saving that. I read a couple pamphlets, went to a seminar or two.
Learn how to segue.
Learn how to segue.
That's why he's the people person.
Segues aren't just for mall cops.
Hey, don't sleep on the Segway, man.
All right, guys.
Vehicle of the future.
It's the vehicle of the future. That's right. So today's episode is about segways.
Is it the
Jeff,
future you want?
It's a grim, dark future.
It's a grim dark where there's only Segways.
The grim, dark future of malls.
That's why we can never be the superior race in the universe.
We have Segways.
Humans are so lazy. We're like, we want to take
It's true.
segways to war. You think
It's
you're gonna beat a Tyranid on a Segway? Like
It's plus 2
a
to your
gene
charge
stealer?
range.
It's true. Plus, I mean, that's a stable firing platform. You can move and shoot. No negative to your heavy weapons.
Man, no, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A heavy machine gun would rock that Segway.
Fall back and fire. It's got a gyro on it, man.
You can fall back and fire at a neg one, but
Hey, Ultramarine.
you have no melee. You have no melee. You're
Put a Robbie G next to him. That
You're
Segway is
completely-
unbeatable.
You're AdMech. You're not. You're just
AdMech.
terrible in combat. Or
We're
you're
going
the
one.
Tau if you're on a Segway. And then if your
give
gun
him a
is
taser,
mounted,
you can be Electro Priest. It's all
you,
good.
you can
Bow shot.
swivel. Not on a Segway. No, man.
Tasers,
No,
man.
you-
You can taser somebody on a Segway. 9-inch range.
I'm pretty sure Tyranid.
In the face.
There's guys that are like drunk that can take take a taser. So a Tyranid would not even like.
You know how mobile you are on a Segway, though?
Are you?
Segway Cavalry.
Are you more mobile?
I'm modeling Coruscant Khan on a Segway.
I feel like they shoot the
man.
tires
That is legit.
and they
right
fall over.
there.
Sure, we'll put
Corsair
lightning bolts
Khan
in.
on a
Yeah.
Segway.
Yeah.
Man, we got to send this to GW.
I think
All
it's a
right.
golden idea.
Yeah,
Right
that's,
here.
that's
the,
all
that's
right.
Story
the
model.
new cheese.
That's
all
all
right,
right.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
is cheddar.
So, all right.
So a year of 40K, guys. It's been almost a year for us as well. We'll be talking about that here in the upcoming months.
Yeah.
What's been, Jeff, we'll start with you. What's been your favorite thing about 8th edition?
My favorite thing about 8th edition. Gosh, I guess I never really thought about it. I don't know. Mechanicus has just been really awesome for me, at least, just the army. But I think actually, if I want to take a step back and not say something personal, about my army, I think the fact that they've pumped out so many codexes so quickly, and it's just
19.
19, and it just to be able to see there's been so many people able to get their hands on a codex, and and just in general 8th edition, I've seen so many old players who didn't play much in 7th come back into the game. I've seen so many people who've never played the game before step in and are now very super consistent players. I think just all around it's been a great addition just in terms of just community engagement. I mean, obviously GW, the new GW, able to just talk to people.
Yeah, new GW is great.
How many
You're
previews?
stealing my thunder, man. That's,
I guess,
that's my
but-
favorite thing about
I mean, you'll
8th
talk
edition.
more, but there's
Yeah.
so many previews they've dropped, and like you actually know what's coming out now, like night and day compared to the previous editions.
And not only know what's coming out, and I'm just gonna roll right into it. So that's definitely my favorite thing about 8th is new GW. The speed of which they're releasing codex, the transparency that they have with everything coming out. We already know that one of the biggest questions that's been going on in the history of 40K, when are we getting Plastic Sisters of Battle? 2019, that's when we're getting Plastic Sisters of Battle. Why? because the new GW is listening to us.
Yeah.
New GW
Took them long enough, frankly.
New GW, absolutely. But hey, in this edition,
Sound like a 40K player.
That's right.
Hey man, I've been in this about 5
fought
years
the
now.
wars. I fought the
Yeah, I
wars.
fought the ups
10
and downs,
years,
man.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what. This edition, you look at the response time from when something becomes broken to when they respond
That is
to it.
true. That is true.
First, when it first dropped, everybody was rocking those Valkyrie flyer lists. After Adepticon hit,
Storm Ravens, all that was gone.
Gone. And they've done that consistently over and over again. When a broken army rears its head, and not just a really good point efficient army, but something that's actually broken, GW has stepped into the competitive arena and said, you can't do this
and
anymore.
actually done pretty well for not being on the competitive scene at all for the longest time. So I think they've taken that turn about face. I guess they've done it well. They've done it, I'd say, pretty smoothly.
It's been a really solid pivot for sure.
Because I mean, you think about it before, they had no tournament support whatsoever. The rule, like the FAQs, were hit or miss. Maybe they drop one this year, and then 2 years nothing.
We're actually getting
Crickets.
some GW tournament support.
Exactly,
So, I mean, this is, I got to give shout out where it's due.
Yeah.
I've always said I am unabashedly a GW fanboy when it comes to the models, when it comes to the fluff. I won't make any apologies, but this has nothing to do with being a fanboy and everything to do with the company finally realizing what taking the great customer service that they have in an interpersonal relationship and applying it to the community looks like. Not only are we getting information on the new factions coming out, we get a full week-long preview every time the faction drops.
Yeah.
The hype train goes insane for a week, and we get to talk about it.
It's funny because that's just... it's funny that I only know this GW and that they didn't used to do that. Because
You're so spoiled.
it just doesn't make sense for a company to not ever do that.
So
it
they
just
actually a
doesn't
game
make
company now.
sense.
They
Yeah.
are a game company, and it's really
Yeah.
great to see.
Yeah.
And they used to actively say we're not a game company, we're a models company, and they
Right.
pivoted on that. They said these are our rules. We're standing behind them. We're fixing them as we come along. We plan to do it over and over again. We're going to release FAQs after we drop a codex. We're going to get into every codex and make sure that, they said within 2 years, every faction's going to have a codex. And we are 19 codexes in within 12 months. My entire GW career outside of 8th edition, there's only been 24 codexes.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So, and I've been playing for 10 years.
Yeah.
You're looking at a company
that's
that
awesome.
has completely shed its skin.
They're publicly traded, right?
Yeah, and
They are.
that also has
that
been
has-
reflected
yeah.
really well.
That's fine.
Since they changed leadership, there was a bit
Yeah.
of a fiasco with their previous president just dumping, continuing to dump profits into stock dividends.
Yeah.
They reinvested that money back into the game.
New
Brought-
website, new all that stuff.
They
yeah.
brought back specialist games. The game that's near and dear to your my heart, G. We're looking at what they've done with Blood Bowl, and all of us are going to be getting into. We'll probably not talk about it a lot on the podcast, but we're all getting into Age of Sigmar.
I took the plunge.
All of us, and, we brought G kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
He's in too.
He's in.
I just need something to do that night of the week. So, all right.
Fine. I'll spend more money in paint stuff.
If I have to.
All
No, but we're
right.
definitely not going to. Don't worry. We're not going to talk about it.
Yes.
Don't worry.
I'm gonna make
2
sure we
weeks
don't
later,
talk about
she's like,
AOS.
"Dude, we got to talk about it now."
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see.
See how it goes.
You're leaving
No,
the door open.
no,
That's
no,
good.
no, no.
Yeah, frankly,
I don't know anything
it's-
about the lore, so like,
Yeah, I only
and
know
I'm
so
staying
much.
away
now.
from it on purpose. So.
Yeah.
Just so you don't get
Just so,
get
like,
hooked.
nope, no.
Yeah. Speaking of the lore, I have to admit I have a shame point, guys. I'm starting an Imperial army.
He is such a sellout. Like, this is the sellout of sellouts of sellout. Like, this one takes the cake. I'm very upset about this, and it's like the worst kind of sellout too. It's not so much as like if he really liked the models, sure. Like if it was
He
like
does.
okay, I'll give him that.
He
Fine,
do.
he does. But that's not the like. I feel like it's like a 1-2
It's
punch.
be
once,
fair-
once you see the light. once you have it saved,
The Emperor's life.
once you have it
Shine.
saved,
Are
it
you
is
saying
hard to
I'm a
walk
Hornet
away.
and
When you start grilling with the fire of the Emperor,
Yeah.
when you start
Once
grilling
you
that
are
meat
saved
with the
by
fire,
Jesus,
yeah,
You do not you just don't. No,
Yeah.
you don't turn away from that.
the
No.
meat's so much better on the Imperial
on
side.
the
isn't it?
Imperial side, none of that corrupted meat. I
No,
tell ya. no,
none of
Yeah.
that. None of that hot pocket meat or anything.
In my mind, I'm keeping it
Spam,
solid
none of that spam.
by playing. In my mind, it's Dark Mechanicus. In my mind, it's Renegade Knights and
Yeah.
Fallen Guard.
Okay.
They just didn't give us rules like they did the Imperium. So I'm going to be playing a combo. And to be fair, I've always loved your AdMech models. I've
That's
said
fair.
openly
It's fair.
that I love the look of the
Alright.
Skitaris. The Electro Priests are sick looking. Let's be honest. I'm married. I got to see if I can afford this stuff before we can get into. I haven't even
Fair.
informed my wife that I'm starting an Imperial army. Honey, I've decided to see other armies.
Slap.
She saw a little bit of the wrath when she just finally discovered that those new fish people weren't for 40K. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of wrath going on at the Ludwig
No,
household.
the
You're
sharks
starting
have
another
lasers
game?
now. They're
Yeah,
just
it's fine.
new space
Fine.
sea
sharks.
creatures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know.
They're just Eldar on top
Yeah.
of fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fine. It'll all be fine.
Yeah. So
These are not the models you're looking for.
yeah, I look forward to seeing your army, and I look forward to having one similar.
You guys are
Look
ridiculous.
forward to bringing one to the team tournament together.
Once we get the approval to talk about it, and we'll.
Sellout of the century. Just saying.
I don't know if it's selling out. He just, like I said, you finally,
We still
Got
exist in
converted
a
over.
world with Paul Ryan, so I think sellout of the century is safe for a good long time.
Okay, so my favorite, right? Are we talking
Yeah,
about favorite? We're still.
What up, TCDG?
Yeah. Okay, so since I only know this game, this edition, the best edition, and I only know this company, I think the models are my favorite. Like, this is some pretty dope looking models across the board. I used to make, like I said, I used to make fun of 40K players. And those little models, like the Marines, just holding their guns on their chests, those little bitty,
Real tight.
and they look, real tight, like like it's mine. So, and yeah, like the sculpts and the designs of Death Guard was for sure. Like I was like, oh man, these are super sick, and I like the Primaris. I like the way they look. And
Harlequins are beautiful.
Harlequins
Yeah,
are
yeah.
beautiful. You starting Harlequins?
No. We're
No.
just talking about awesome models.
Yeah, also models.
Yeah, if I could, I had Harlequins, and they were that's why I got them, because they were so cool. But I just don't have time for them, and I just don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's-
yep, I think Space Wolves look sweet, and I can't wait to see the new stuff. I don't like orcs, but I bet they have some amazing stuff coming just based on the AOS.
Rumors are
Orcs.
new Gaz. They're getting
Yeah,
new Gaz.
well,
going.
Yeah.
It's
so,
supposed to
like,
be Primarch sized.
They're newer models, so like when I say newer ones, it's like pretty much past like the boys and like the old metal and stuff.
Mhm.
Like all those newer sculpts, like the Morkanaut, Flash Gits, like
Those
they're
plastics
plastic.
are really nice.
Those
Yeah.
models look so sweet.
Actually,
They're only
even
gonna get
going
better.
back to when the Storm Boys got the new sculpt. The
Yeah, the Storm
Boys
Boys are
really
dope
good
too.
sculpt,
Yeah,
really
for
good
sure,
sculpt.
for sure.
So and I expect amazing things from them. I expect Sisters when they come out next year to be like
That
You
promo
know,
sculpt.
they're gonna be
man.
insane.
Yeah, the promo
Oh.
sculpt is
And
dope. Yeah.
I mean, and I have some sisters, but they're gonna be an army that I'm like, I don't want to play them because everybody else owns them.
Yeah,
But I'm
everybody's
gonna
get
feel
sisters.
like, man, I
well,
still
I won't
want
be
them.
getting sisters, but
A lot of people.
it's a feel good
Dude.
story for the
It's a
community.
feel good story of the year.
Yeah.
The century, the decade.
Yeah. So
The
that would be
millennium.
my thing. Only being in the game for a year, like I said, the models are pretty amazing. I'm having fun painting them. So, yeah.
I will say also this is the first edition that I've actually been like hardcore like trying to paint my miniatures nicely and like look good. So I'm proud of that. On
And
a personal,
kudos for that, man. Your iMac looked good.
They look good at the 3 foot
That's
distance.
exactly what you're looking for. We've always talked about, as long as it looks good, I don't need you to look at it.
closer,
with a
you gotta
jeweler's
kiss it.
Look at
glass.
this guy.
Yep. Any
Nobody
closer,
wants you
you
to be
gotta
Mr.
kiss
Suitcase,
it. So.
But I will say one thing that I'm super happy about from just a game standpoint is the death of formations. So happy about that. I mean, I do miss them in the sense that like when they were tame, they were fun. Like it's a cool way to play your army. Like in the previous editions, you don't really know too much. But you've heard us harp on it.
Yeah.
But I am happy they are gone because they were so imbalanced and so many factions. It was a very, scales tipped in one favor over the other in terms of factions quite easily.
I think we're real close to formations. I've only heard you guys talk about, but we're
Nowhere
really close
near.
to
No, we're not
formations
close
coming.
to- no.
We'll see if they don't manage their command points, which is what I would talk about. The thing that needs improvement.
I think
like
yes,
Happy
I think they
Birthday,
need
but
to improve
Some
command-
tweaks.
Yeah, they need
Yep.
some tweaks.
So let's talk about that. G, you can kick it off. Why don't we talk about the things that we're looking at in the year that maybe was a misstep for GW that they
Okay.
could have taken something and done a little bit better.
Okay, so yeah, I guess my it would be command points. See, I think the best games are always resource based, and this is new for Games Workshop. This is new for 40K. So I expect them to like not do it as well as other games. So I think it will get better, but I think they definitely need to create more universal stratagems.
Yes, agreed.
They need to balance out the command points more, and then they need to get rid of some that are anti-stratagem. The cancel from the Eldar.
There's only
that's-
one cancel though.
That's bad game design.
I agree, it's bad game design,
Um,
but it's only one army though, so
Sure.
That's specifically what makes it bad.
I guess that's
Yeah,
true. Well, I
yeah.
felt like if it's,
What
it would
I'd
be
like
worse
to see,
community, like our faction wide.
what I'd like to
game-wide.
see.
No, it'll
is-
never get that way. But
Better now.
I'd like to see that be more. If they're going to keep it in the game, I'd like that to be a Xenos mechanic and not an Imperium mechanic.
Agreed.
Because it seems like the Imperium's trick right now, command point wise, is regenerating
Farming,
the
yeah.
command
Which
points.
that is something I
that
don't
I
like.
was literally gonna say that has to go away.
It's just like literally
Yeah.
people just like, you think about, I mean, I know a lot of it gets amplified at the tournament level, but a lot of times it's just like, oh, I have my Space Marines, and then I have my guard detachment, like my mandatory guard detachment.
I have to take guard for Matt's new Imperium /
Well, that's the thing. 'cause,
list, like,
you
I have
get
to take guard
access
also,
to
yeah.
so many points. I mean,
Yeah.
you're using tens and tens of command points. It's just ludicrous because, like, it's just not. You don't pay points for that.
We talked to.
It kind of harps back to the formation thing of previous
Right.
editions.
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
why I think formations. I think it's going to become where I have to take these guys to do this to get the points. Isn't that formations? You have to take something
Well,
to unlock. You have to pay that
maybe-
tax,
some-
but you have to
yes.
use that tax in a positive way, right?
But the difference is with formations, there were units that were literally attacks where you almost couldn't get a use out of them other than soaking wounds.
See, I think right now, like I like custodies, but I have to pay a tax to play them. So
Valid.
it's gonna be so that has to be improved.
the difference between formations and stratagems and command points that I would say is
It's finite,
Be-
quote unquote.
yes, A, it's finite, and B, unlike previous editions, there was not a unifying design mechanic,
That's
unifying
true.
design team
That
behind
is
the
true.
whole thing. And while they may not have been perfect, they're at least trying that for the first time ever.
Yeah, that's why it's their first time. So,
So-
Well,
it's
I
only
think,
going to get
too,
better.
The other thing, though, too, we have to acknowledge is so, like in previous editions, not everybody even had access to the same types of formations or this, that, or the other thing. This edition, you all have the same access. You can all use
Command points.
you can use command points and you can use any of the detachments as long as you have you can fill the slots.
Right.
So that is, I would agree, that's a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because previous editions, it's like, oh, this army has 50 formations to choose from, and this army only has 2. And
Okay.
You know
Hi,
what
I
I mean?
play chaos.
Exactly. Right at the end of the edition, you got the old Trader's Hate.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, so that would be my thing. I think they need to introduce. Right now, we have 3 universal stratagems.
We do.
I think that should go up. I think
I agree with that.
we should. They need to improve Overwatch stratagem. That's universal. slow down guys that are turn one charging you, universal.
And I think
I think a auto save, like so that way you don't have to roll for an invo. You just spend 2 command
I don't
points.
like
Never,
that. I-
ever,
I
ever,
don't
ever.
like that one.
One per game. Yep.
No,
And
I
then
don't
there
like
should
it.
be an auto fail for 3 command points. We need to make
No,
powerful
I
ones.
don't like. No, I
We
don't
need to
like
make
that.
powerful
It's
ones.
a dice-based game. You can't remove so many stuff and just make it auto stuff.
No, if you make real powerful ones and make them really cost 4, 3, it forces them to use it. They're out of the way. Like so, we have to right now. The farming is an issue. So like
Well, if you farm it, then you'll just be able to do that stuff.
once we eliminate that and you start with 20 and you're that's it. You
I don't
can't,
like it.
or you can't go over what you started. There's got to be a way. But if everybody had access to that, I think that's kind of cool. There's already a cancel and I lose my command points. There can be an auto save.
The autosave, I don't like it because there's so many things that have issues with having 3-up invulns, and it's like now the one time you get somebody to fail it, you're gonna make it. Oh, I auto pass
You
it.
get sure once per game.
I don't like it.
The problem
don't
problem
like
is it doesn't scale. I have to agree with Jeff on this. While I like the idea of an autosave, the fact is it's a much more powerful mechanic in the hands of a Space Marine player than it is of an Orc player.
So the cost would be different. So it would cost the Orc guy 1, but the Imperium guy it'll cost 3. There are ways to balance it out, and these would be universal.
You
But this
don't
is
want
just
to
an
add. You don't want to
idea.
add too much complication to it. Frankly, I don't like
How?
that. Well, I guess if you make it like in the way they do stratagems now, and you put it in the book, and you just same rules, just give it
Yeah,
a different command point
yeah.
cost. I don't know. I don't like it, frankly.
I
I think
there'd have to be some really, really strong valuation on it, just due to the fact that you already have, and I hate to keep banging on the Imperium, but the Imperium has some insanely survivable.
I mean, you think,
characters.
yeah, and you think about it, you can get, invulns on something like an Imperial Knight or, some of these big things that's like, hey, if I auto pass this, like one less thing for them to just pass, like that's a huge like, I don't know, man.
Plus, it devalues things. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
G.
no, no, go
It devalues things like Celestine and Robbie G coming back by giving certain people that ability inherently through saying, "I make this save." It's kind of the inverse of the problem that came around in 7th with D weapons, where there's nothing that you can do about this.
Yeah.
It just happens. I think
Yeah.
that, like, you feel that it's a bad game design for cancellation, and it's not that I disagree with the mechanic in general, but where the feel bads come in is when you take my ability
Right.
to do something about the game out of my hands.
But we both
Yeah, I
have
like
access to it, and if I shoot a last cannon at Mortarion and he fails, and you use the auto instead, turn 1, I know that I got a auto wound later coming on that game. See, I think that creates more strategy. So, I mean,
I don't like the
it's
auto
just
stuff.
one thing.
This
Auto
game
save,
this
auto
game's
wound.
This game's a dice-based game. It should just about everything should be up to chance.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
these
but
are
there's
just,
Yeah, we're spitballing.
yeah,
Yeah.
although there are way more stratagems
I
that
gotta
have in
call
mind.
it out
But
because
it should be powerful. It's the Black Lotus of 40K.
40K.
Yeah.
You need to have the power 9. Of
Yeah,
40K.
you should, absolutely. It should be 5 command points. Auto wound. You're like, oh.
I
You get
just
it once per game?
I just got to call it out because it hit me in the head. So we have a local player here, and as you listen, you know who you are. As he tends to find new things out about his army, we all tend to give him crap by raising our voices and turning the fanboy voice on and saying, "And my Baneblade can shoot 3 times, and it can kill things
For free?
and I can auto-save my passes."
Yeah.
Save too.
What? A 3-up pinball?
And you auto-saved it? Not that's so broken.
Gee,
My
your voice-
volcano cannon can't kill it.
You can't kill it in one shot.
Your voice
Not
did dip a
fair.
little bit in there when we talked about, and then you can make your auto save and just pay the points. Just gotta call a spade
Yeah,
a spade when I see it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. But you get rid of the farming system.
I agree
You,
with that.
you make 10 Universal,
They got so I
5 Xeno, 5 Imperium that
Okay.
all of them have access to. I think
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
Auspex can is it looks like everybody has it.
Oh, shooting something that drops
Yeah.
in.
That drops. I think Imperium wise, everybody has it.
Now, does some have varying? I know some are like at -1, or do some have at full
no, I
distance
think
too?
everyone's just if they drop within 12 inches, you get to shoot at them. It might be -1.
I know.
Sure.
I know. I'm pretty sure Mechanicus is -1.
But like that's cool. So then like Chaos should have something not similar, but that fits within the theme. That's should be universal no matter what god you're favoring that game.
I really like. I played a really great game today with my Noise Marines, and we're doing a narrative league, and I'm playing with some stuff that obviously isn't the most competitive in the world because I want everybody to have fun. So my Noise Marines are definitely back on the table. I brought a Helldrake back.
Hey.
Throwing back to 6th edition. But no, the mechanic where when my guys die, they still get to fire or still get to attack, that feels very chaosy to me. To have that
On their way
that,
down or
that
something like
falling out FU.
that. That'd be awesome. Like one command point if
Yep.
once the entire unit can shoot.
Yep.
I think that's kind of cool. And then like that creates a strategy. Well, I'm not going to shoot them. I'm going to shoot these cultists instead, or
Right.
do something like that. More stratagems like that create opportunities where we have to think more, and that's why I do think it's coming. I do think that GW will do something like this soon. I think we'll get a stratagem book.
I would completely see a GW style Art of War, and maybe that's what the next general or the next chapter approved could be.
I
Along
think
with the points tweak.
Chapter approval is a great place to put them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
I think the other thing, and this is kind of, I mean, again, everybody has stratagems now. I mean, obviously, except index things. But, I mean, we're kind of at that point with there is some negatives to the faction-specific stratagems
Yep.
where it's somebody has access to something really good and all their stratagems aren't as good. Like, there are factions who have access to, like, shooting twice, fighting twice, like almost army wide, and then other factions have it where it's like, oh, I can shoot twice with a particular unit, or I can only fight twice with a particular unit. I think they
costs more for them than me. Yeah.
I agree.
I think they need to have a little more. I mean, I don't want everything to be the same, but I think there needs to be, if something as powerful as doing something twice, almost like the double turn in Age of Sigmar, like a lot of that needs to be at least easily accessible for a lot of factions, not just one or two. Or because again, it's one of those things that scales. Certain armies that are able to do that. Fighting twice with a hive tyrant versus shooting twice with I don't know,
Gaunts or whatever.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
Or
that
guardsmen.
yeah, exactly.
They have both. Tyranids have both.
I know.
They're so
Tyranids
awesome.
have both. They're
so
so
awesome.
good.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, I don't know about UG. I myself am extremely upset that I can't ally with a unit of Space Wolves and get a stratagem.
That is the
It
dumbest
really-
stratagem.
It really
Yeah.
makes
To
me
inflict
upset.
D3 mortal wounds on yourself, but get buff +1 stats or whatever.
I
Like,
know
that's
that-
so. Woo!
Lots of our
Woo!
late night Denny runs
Hot,
talked
man.
about.
Yeah, man. I wish there was like a stratagem that was like, if a salamander,
waste of print,
it could
man.
be
It's a
called
waste of ink.
The dragon and the something else.
It's a waste
The
of
dragon in the darkness so you can get your
Yeah.
Death Watch.
Yeah, the Death-
Watch.
yeah,
a waste
yeah.
of paper, a waste of ink,
The
man.
black
That's just
dragon.
a
and
waste.
they get
The
together,
black dragon.
Yeah. So,
Puff the magic dragon.
so that
That's when they ally with Slanesh.
right.
yeah. So that would be my. See, I don't even want to say it's a negative because it's their first time they're doing
Right.
it, and I do think it's going to change. I really
That's a
do.
tweak.
So not to
Yeah.
hijack all of it, but you guys, what do you?
I think they got to
your
balance
neg.
that out. Yeah.
So, Jeff, your negative would then be the balancing of the factions.
Balancing. I mean, like again, like I think they've made great strides, but again, I think there's still more to be done.
Yeah, and my my negative for this edition is that it took them so long to come to this point of anti-spam in a rules environment.
Yeah.
Without the rule of
yeah.
without the rule of 3, it really leads itself to some bad interactions. There are just
Agreed, yeah.
there are just armies that have
7
a
hive
unit,
tyrants.
7 hive tyrants, or 6 units of Reapers, or take your pick. There
Yeah.
are so many. There's so many units that point for point, while not broken,
So-
when able to be taken in mass.
And I think, I mean,
But you need broken units. But so you're
It's
just
not
saying
that.
that they took too long to
Yes,
stop it?
It-
I mean, they probably didn't even know, and
I don't know. I feel like
they
certain things.
eliminated after one tournament though. So
It's true.
like, I don't think that was.
It's true. I mean, it was a big tournament, but yes.
But they need those.
Yeah.
So.
I think though, and again, it's kind of one of those things. Like it goes back to kind of what we were talking about with the stratagem thing. Like blanket brush strokes often have repercussions. Like it obviously makes sense to get rid of the 7 Hive Tyrants,
yes.
but like sometimes like with other factions, like oh, I wanted 4 Howling Banshee squads, now I can't. You know what I mean? Like there's little things like that where it's like.
While I agree with you,
I think it goes back
wholeheartedly,
to, frankly, I think it goes back to switching out formations, like getting rid of the Supreme Command attachment, so that you can't be doing, oh, I got my 5 HQs or whatever. Because I think like there's certain things that really scale up. Now I get like there are some broken units that aren't HQs, but I don't know, it's tough.
there are quite a few units, and they're coming more to the forefront. I mean, with the ability to, it wasn't just the Hive Tyrants.
I
that
agree,
made
it
that
wasn't
list.
the Hive Tyrants.
It
right.
was the ability to take that many Myocetic spores and biovores,
That's true.
and
That's
those
true.
are support units.
Are they heavy support?
It doesn't. I'm not sure what category they fall in, but they're not troops.
Okay.
Is my point.
Okay.
It's not just the big heavies that are the problem, or because in Eldar's case, like we talked about, if you can take multiple units of Dark Reapers, it's game over. Should turn out the lights.
Yeah, see, I think some of that should go back to like it should be more at the unit level rather than the game level. I mean, I guess like it's easy, to do it game wide. It's easy, and I mean, it makes it fair in the sense that everybody all gets treated the same. But like again, not all units are the same.
Right, but
So I feel like it should go to the units. But I mean, I guess it would take time to evaluate
me, it's
that.
not about as much. It's not so much about game balance as it is just seeing variation on the table.
I agree with that. I agree with
by
that.
doing this, you're seeing different people finding different answers
Sure,
to the
sure.
same problem. Whether it is allying in different
Yeah.
factions, I do believe we might be on the verge of seeing our first meta dominating style of army with the Knights Codex.
Maybe, yeah. But it has the potential for it for sure.
So we'll see. We'll see if Eldar is going to be strong enough to keep it at a balanced rate at the top tables. But I foresee bad things for Nova.
No, like 7 Hive Tyrants are bad, and if everybody brings them to a tournament, 10 out of 14 players, sure, that's also bad. But we're just talking about tournament wise.
Right.
That's where you have a negative command point. If you're gonna do that, when you go over the rule of 3, you lose command points.
Totally buy into that.
Sure.
Yeah, I can go
And
with
if you
that.
play one solid faction all the way through,
You should get more benefits for doing one solid.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree
absolutely.
with that.
I,
There's-
Yeah.
I am
I want
wholeheartedly
to take
on that
2
team.
extra Hive Tyrants. I just lost 6 command points out of my 13 or whatever number.
Yeah.
Like there are ways that and like I said, it's new. The stratagems and the command points are new to them, but I think you're gonna see these things. Like there should be some nags and some positives for playing all Ultramarines. I think I think
Never
that's coming.
Ultramarines. Never Ultramarines.
No,
They do just fine.
They're
They
awesome.
just-
Well, I think too. At least another thing I'd like to see, and this is just wishful thinking. I doubt it's ever going to happen. It's just kind of the nature of the game. But I
New
would.
GW, man. You never know.
I don't
Yeah.
know. This is you're gonna kind of see what I'm talking about. I feel like it is going to be a little too optimistic, but a lot of times I feel like when I'm looking through a book, and like I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily a perpetrator of it. I tend to play what I like, even if it's bad. But
Really?
yes. There are above and beyond. There's certain things that it's just like there is no reason why I should not take this. You know what I mean? There's no negative drawback. Think about like the Imperial Guard for the command part farming. There's no reason why you shouldn't take that.
But you need that, bro. You need the good stuff, and you need bad units. That's part. You have to.
I think I feel like there should be a cost to
Not
everything,
everything
and a
should
lot
be
of
good.
things. There's a decent amount of things in this game that are so good. There's no cost to it.
Well,
There's
I
no
think
drawback. It's like, well, why would I not take that? There's nothing for me to choose over that.
There's what I will say
Terminators.
to argue that.
Terminators are, I want to take Terminators, but they're just,
That's what I'm saying.
they have to drop the points on them.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
they'll find their way. They'll find their way.
The problem is it doesn't matter how you design the game, whether there's drawbacks on those things or not drawbacks on those things. There's always going to be a superior unit.
I agree
And
with that.
superior
but-
unit will inherently become the you're dumb if you're not taking this. It doesn't matter how many negatives or positives you put on it. Either that or we all start playing checkers.
Well, no. I get that, but I'm saying it goes back to the point, like, so with the guard farm point, farming, command point farming thing, give them a negative for not being a single faction. That would solve that problem. It would help alleviate that issue.
You can only get it on a 6 instead of a 5 and a 6,
I'm just
maybe.
saying maybe get rid of the farming mechanic in general.
That has to go. That has to.
Or if you're going to keep it, make it more negatives to playing mixed armies. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to work around it that, it's not just like, like there'll still be plenty of variety. It's just like more choices.
Yeah.
I
hate
think
that I have to
think-
buy. I hate that I have to buy
Exactly.
guard. I hate
like
it.
you have to do
So,
it.
but if I want to win at the,
and that's the other thing. If you want to win,
I
you
wanna
have to
win.
play that unit.
Yeah,
I
if I
feel like
wanna
there.
win, man.
I mean, there's certain there's units in the mechanics code. It's like there's the Rust Stalkers.
Yeah.
They have no guns and they can't advance and charge. They can't. They have 0 special rules. That is it.
Imperial
That
Guard.
is it.
Imperial Guard on KD of 40K. If you want to win, you're gonna bring.
You gotta go. Who's the?
You want to guarantee the win, man.
Too soon.
Kevin Durant. I got to get a box of those guys.
Yeah. Get a box of
Mortars.
Kevin Durant.
Yep.
So do I sign up?
yeah. So that's unfortunate. So I agree with that. I completely agree with that part. I mean, I don't know how you fix that. Yeah, but we are a year in.
You're a year.
Are
in.
a
That's
year
right.
in,
Are a
and
year
I
in.
think they've
There's
done
been a lot of
lot.
strides. So there's a lot of positives.
They've done a
they've
ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so for you guys, it's like crazy. Like, oh my God, they're doing so much. But like, I'm used to in Magic, they respond pretty fast too. So like to me, this is normal. Like they're, I think Knights, the next big whatever Knights are gonna be insanely dominant, and they're gonna come out and they'll fix it. They'll still be good
Well,
though.
Knights
So
are gonna be-
I'm actually don't fear the
Unless
FAQ.
they start fixing mixed factions, Knights are going to be really good.
Yeah.
Really
For a
good.
long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless they make some drastic changes to
I
the way
got-
the book's
I-
constructed or to
Yep.
mixed.
I just made my Captain Slam Guineas.
See, that's the other thing.
Yep.
Like, you think about, like, how many tournaments have we seen now that it's Blood Angels, Imperial Guard, and something else?
But
And
Blood
that
Angels
Blood
Imperial
Angels-
Guard is simply for it's not. It doesn't have to do with the Blood Angels being too good or the Guard being too good. It's
It's
at the
the
combo
combination.
of
Yes.
the farm.
Right, exactly.
So,
and it's like, well, I
that's-
have to take it.
We can't kick the dead horse over and over again. The only reason it's not blood, Slam's really good, but if you had to line up characters side by side, there are characters that you would take over Slam.
Not at all. No. Slam is a monster, and I get to farm command point. It's too. It's too
And he can
broken.
fight twice.
It's too broken. He has a 3-up invul. He kills. He can do 20 something damage. You can't Overwatch. 3 dice to charge. He's a monster. He's a monster. He's a monster. And 5-up, I get command points when you
Yeah.
when you spend. Oh, that's too broken. Too broken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a monster. If I can find the way to fit a knight,
Because that's,
him and Gilliman, I will.
like, that's the thing. He's so good.
You can't anymore, I don't think.
What?
Oh well, yeah, you can, but you lose the Imperial Guard farm.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But I was saying, he's so good at that point. It's like, why would you not? Like, if you want to win, why would you not?
Yeah, and
What's the drawback?
Maybe that's worth
Nothing.
talking. This is
20
just if you
damage
want to
on a
win.
stable
This is
platform.
not for fun. This
Right,
is just if you want to
yeah.
win a tournament.
Which I like to
though.
see at the tournament level. I would like to see, just me personally. Again, this is coming from I would say I'm more of a fluffy gamer than I am competitive gamer. I don't risk it all to win. So I would like to see like, oh, that goofy Tyranid list did okay, or that goofy Tau list, or like when I say goofy, it's not like,
No.
oh, I'm spamming this, and
I
this.
still am going to argue that overall it's a much more healthy tournament
I
scene
agree,
than we've
for sure.
ever seen in a
Definitely
any
seeing more
edition.
variation at the top. Yes.
We've seen an Orc Codex win a GT.
Index. Yes.
Yeah, Index Army win a GT.
Yes.
A large scale GT.
Yes.
At
How did
that.
that happen?
It's a good index, man.
There
You're
are
just sleeping on
there
it.
are some
No,
really
the
good.
new stratagem is really good.
Yeah,
You
there
can
are
make
some.
2 units.
Yeah.
There
There
are
are
some
ways to
really
play that.
really good synergy with orcs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem is with any
But you
assault.
can't ally guard with them. Fuck.
The difference.
There's no
10 out
Xeno
of
version
10
of the
would
guard,
not
right?
take.
That's it. There's no Xeno version of the guard.
The
That's the other
orcs
thing.
are the Xeno version of the guard.
Yeah.
They don't have that
bodies
farm.
and bodies, but there's no farm.
Yeah, there's no
Command
there's
point.
no farm. There's no farm outside of the Imperium.
Yeah.
Well, no, I take it back. Eldar do get one character. If you take an Autarch as your leader, he gets 5 ups.
Oh.
Okay.
So
On yours and theirs.
See, that's the thing with
That's the
guard.
thing with guard,
Yours,
man.
It's like, fuck.
I believe
Yeah.
it is yours.
And then when
theirs,
you
but
play
I'm
the
gonna-
bloodies, you get the other one to
And
do
I get
it.
the other
Oh
one.
my
And it's
god.
I get to roll
stackable.
2 dice.
Stackable. It's
I get
oh.
to- oh, it's so
But
dumb.
you're gonna take away my ability as a Death Guard player to do double feel no pain. But that nonsense
that's
makes sense.
Double feel no pain doesn't make sense fluff wise.
Neither does farming command points over and
triple
over again.
command farm.
But fluff wise, they're like, no, this strategy, and they're like looking over information
Because
and,
the
and-
Imperium
You
has-
strategy.
you can work your way any way you want. You can wordsmith your way through anything.
yeah. So
I'm
okay.
not even an Emperor fan. It's just good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How much of this do you expect at our tournament?
I expect so if we had 32 players, I'm expecting 25 players are bringing a detachment of Imperial Guard. I would not be surprised if I saw.
Wow.
12.
I don't
would
think it's
not
going to go
be-
that heavy. I will say that I'm going to.
Okay, maybe a bit big number, but I would not be surprised if that happened.
You have to remember, I figure that we're going to be about probably 2/3 locals. We are getting some interest, and thanks for talking about the tournament. You guys out there who are listening, who want to make the trip out, we've got some big names. We've got some great fluff. We've got shout out to Hammerhead Games, who is our first big sponsor of the tournament. Going to be adding to
Big
the
one.
swag bag and to the prizes. So we've got some awesomeness coming
Thank
from
you.
them. Fear This Customs also coming into the swag bag as well.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And we've got
Which
more
one?
to come. GW themselves adding
Shout
to prize
out.
support.
No. Okay.
So
Name
it's-
drop.
Name drop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
okay.
know.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so we were talking with this company, and okay, it is GW.
They're pretty awesome.
They happen to be
There are a
the
lot of
designers of this
mistakes.
game
There
we're
are a lot of
playing.
big mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so 25 guard. You think there's that many?
Okay,
Imperium?
that's probably a big. I'd say at least half are
Yeah,
gonna be.
I think that
at least half
okay.
are going to have a detachment of guard.
All right. I think we'll see a lot of knights.
I think that's what I'm.
I think we'll
You
see
think?
a lot of knights. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like some of this, like some of it is still under wraps. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like it hasn't been widespread.
I
Like,
think that. I think
Like maybe
that,
a different thing we're going to
I think that the love for the
There's
Dominus
several.
is real.
Yeah.
There is a lot of.
There's like 3 competitive ways to play knights.
There's a lot of nerds sitting alone in a corner reading the fat
Figuring
line for
it
the
out.
Dominus.
Yeah.
I'm
I gotta
telling
go get
you.
the codex just so I can nerd out with them because
Yeah.
like. it's
Dude, just
really
get
good.
I'm so jealous that they. I'm pissed off because both custodies and knights get the little pack of data sheets.
Yeah.
I want that
It's
so
coming.
bad.
It's
It should
coming.
be. They should do that for everybody.
Yeah,
It should,
it's
and you
coming.
could double side it. Just shrink the page down, double side it, however you want to do it. Done.
The GW's already.
I'd pay $30 for
this
that
is
shit.
the-
I would pay fucking $30. I'd pay Hell, I'd probably pay $60, frankly, because they would probably charge you for a whole new codex for
Man,
that shit.
Jeff, I don't think G and I
Yeah,
need
GW,
to
man.
show up tonight.
Yeah.
You were on fire.
Yeah.
You were just running this conversation. No, GW
Sorry.
is actually.
I get
no, it's
heated
all
about
good,
this.
man. GW is actually doing a really good thing, and they're learning not just from their lessons that are being taught to them in 40K, but they're also learning from lessons that are being taught to them from all of their games.
Yeah.
We've seen it spread from to where Blood Bowl, the G and I play now. Every team has a pack of cards that has their stats on those
that's
cards.
nice. I'd like to see
Age
more
of Sigmar-
faction-specific dice.
Age
yeah.
of Sigmar is coming out doing the same thing.
Well, they got the app, which is dope. They need to do
Yeah.
that for 40K.
It's
frankly.
I don't want to see the dice though.
combat.
Some of
combat
them you
master.
can't read. Just make just
Some of them are
dice.
bad, I agree, but
Just make dice that are
I
in
will
the
buy
colors
all
of the
bad
theme.
dice.
I will
and
buy
that's
all
it.
of the bad. Real talk. $30 for dice, I will buy it.
Yeah.
You won't buy it.
I will.
No, I
Oh,
will
you
buy
will?
all the bad dice. Those clear. Idoneth Deepken dice.
No way.
Done. Sold.
Sold.
Yeah.
They're so hot.
They roll ones all the time, but they are so hot.
Good. Yeah. No.
All the
Okay.
hate that I catch for my Zeech dice, I don't care. They look so
I'm sorry.
sick.
Those are the dice.
Those
Those
are
are the
so
dice. They should
ugly.
have never made those. Awful.
Those
Awful.
actually. That's funny. You also play the fish people in AOS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ugly dice too.
Oh, they're
That's
awesome.
that's secretly
I
how
haven't
you
actually
play.
seen them. I'm
They're
taking.
clear and they have like a blue wave in them. Can't
It's,
read them for
it's
shit.
the number
but
of
they're
waves.
Gorgeous.
That's the number
Are you
instead of
serious?
dots. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's terrible. Terrible, Kenny.
I think you mean amazing. His English isn't what it should be.
Yeah. So I say, I wonder how many Chaos players. We'll do another podcast before the tournament.
Chaos got kind of shafted
But-
with the whole.
You think?
the stoop stuff got shafted, and like
They just
the
can't
Primarchs-
farm zombies
Primarch-
now, but
Yeah,
they
can't
still
farm
have one of the
zombies.
best
That was their thing,
codex.
farming zombies and souping it, and it's gone.
They have soup still.
Yeah, you can still soup.
You can
I can
still
still
soup.
bring. No,
Yeah.
the soup is still there for Chaos. The
I guess
thing
if
that,
it's all Marines.
the
and if it's all
thing
Marines
that
or whatever.
is really a problem for Chaos and what they're going to have to solve is how do they keep up in the arms race? Because we
I feel
don't
like the
have
Primarchs are
farms.
kind of
Cheaper
falling
units.
off. Yeah.
Cheaper units.
I feel like Primarchs are kind of falling off. They're good, but I don't like. I feel like
Yeah,
there's a lot of
they're-
Imperial
You-
toys
you-
that are
you'd
just
rather
matching
take
them
you
so bad
take
now.
you can take 6 demon princes,
Yeah.
zombies, and
Actually,
then
you can't-
cultists.
you can't
Yeah,
take
no, you
six
can take
demon-
6 demon princes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can if they're different.
Oh, you make them different. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
different
yeah,
sheets. I
yeah.
see.
You could take
You could
way
12.
more than that. You could
Yeah,
take
you can
12.
do 12.
So, but like
It's nothing on
No.
running 9 Talos.
that's how
paint
that's how
engines.
they keep up. They just make it cheaper. They make you know. These
Well,
still
so-
have cultists.
Yeah, cultist bomb.
I'll run a cultist. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you still have
there's
cultist bomb.
strategies, but it's not.
Yeah,
the,
it's still an
they're
insane
running.
book.
They're just starting to show their age a little bit.
Yeah,
which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Codex
not even a year in there.
Codex is 12 months old. Man, it's so
so
outdated.
stale.
No,
so
oh,
stale.
no, I'll disagree with that. It's so good. It's so
It is
good.
still good. It's
It's
very
good, yeah.
flexible. There's still a lot of things that
They've
people are
broken
still
that codex
discovering.
3 times in the last year.
Yeah.
Chaos is broken. So like, you know, like that's pretty awesome. It's
Yeah.
pretty
comparative.
Good. So,
I'm still happy. I'm coming out of
Yeah.
my last good times was pre Grey Knights in 5th edition. I had 2 months with Helldrakes. That's it.
back when he played with JFK,
Yeah,
like, man.
that's right. Man, I'll tell you what. I laid the smackdown on Roosevelt.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was just called Game Workshop.
Yeah.
There was only one.
There was only
One,
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Game Workshop. Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And we probably spent more time on the negative naturally. As
Yeah, because I think there's
humans
more,
do.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, like
fine.
you can when you like something, it's like, oh, it's great. You know.
Yeah, yeah. We just
Whereas,
like,
like negative. It's like, well,
Yeah.
and we also talked about how we want to fix it too.
but yeah,
Right.
that's
Offer
that was just- that's the
suggestions.
important
Yeah.
part. We talked about how to fix it, and then I think we'll ask the audience how would they
Yeah.
fix or what do they
Or what do they
think,
like?
you know?
What do they like? What do they think should stay? Do they disagree with us? They think
Yeah, yeah,
that
do
they
they-
think the farm thing should be expanded.
So-
should we have more command? points?
Everybody farms.
Yeah.
You know.
Guys, we want to hear about what your favorite moments are in the in 8th edition in the comments. We want to hear what your favorite model is. I got to say for not having the Imperial Codexes,
That's a tough one.
I
Favorite model.
really, really, really like. I have to say I really like Call. I know you hate him. I think he's an amazing model.
I don't know. I just don't like the way he looks. Just too
He
much.
looks like a robotic roach.
Yeah,
I don't like. him.
I don't like it. It's just I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that, man?
I think he's.
I don't know
amazing.
who I would decide. Though I don't. I
There's
can't-
so many.
I
There's so
can't-
many great
good
ones. Magnus is amazing.
Yeah.
Mortarion.
Mortarion is so.
insane.
Yeah.
The new Primaris, especially the Reavers. Oh my God, those
The skull
Reavers are
masks.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Like I want to convert those into a Night Lord's army so much. Put some
Night
bat
Lords.
helmets, bat wings on those helmets. Make some Primaris Night Lords. Oh,
That would
That'd be
dope.
tough. I don't know.
Chaos needs access to Primaris. I think
Eh.
it's time.
They're coming.
I think
Yeah.
it's time.
They're coming.
Not the entire range of it, but some
I would really like it
or
if-
something similar.
to fit in the fluff. If Emperor's
Fabulous
Children
Bile.
and Fabulous Bile
Fabius.
pimp out some Marines
That's right.
and perfect the gene seed with
They're
some
gonna have
chaotic.
They
spinners
should be
Primaris.
all
Spinners
Horus.
on the-
They
on
should
the
be all
shoulders.
Horus. Doesn't he still have the gene seed for Horus?
I don't know.
and he like combines the
he
Primaris, and then like
might.
they're all little mini horses.
I don't know if they were able to.
He cloned them.
Yeah.
He cloned them.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know if he still had. I'll have to read back through Primogenitor again.
Yeah, I'm actually
while.
not looking forward to Primaris coming over to. Chaos should just have their own
I agree they should have
version.
their own, but they should have something like that.
equivalent
I'd just be
to
happy with
Wounds.
Possessed that didn't suck. That'd be great.
That's true.
They came a lot closer this time.
I think they did a step in the right direction with a lot of the Death Guard specific Terminators.
Yeah.
Actually,
I like that.
Death
They should
Guard
do
is-
that. They should expand upon that. Like they have like the Rubric Terminators. Or
You're
whatever.
right.
rubrics are
Scale
I need
McCall.
insane.
I need some Phoenix, some Phoenician Terminators. I'm down with that.
Which one is that?
Those are that's Fulgrim's.
Okay, yeah.
guard
So
unit,
yeah, that's what I mean. So get some
Phoenicians.
stuff for Slanesh, get some stuff for
so
Korn.
badass.
Like obviously update the Korn Berserker kit because that thing is ugly.
22 years old.
Ugly. Because Korn Berserkers are a sweet unit. You need a new kit for that. And like
Yeah.
you think about what they did with the AOS Korn.
The Bloodbound.
You could make that so sick.
Just put it in a different box.
Just give them arms with pistols. That's it.
That's
give
it.
Give them arms with pistols, and you got it.
And it's the easiest conversion.
Easiest.
like-
Yep.
But
yep.
people are doing that already. They should anyway.
They
but
should,
Yeah.
I've seen tons of it.
Yeah.
The-
So,
the-
but
the
they do
Bloodbound.
need something. They need something with 2 wounds.
Yep,
That
yep.
has a neg 1 AP standard shot.
Yeah.
That's
Well, because like what was
Primaris
cool,
says.
like you could. I mean, I'm not 100% up to date on the Chaos rules, but you could always like in previous editions, you could give marks to like Terminators and like, oh, these are my
Yeah.
Korn Terminators with Terminators with a mark of Korn, like, oh, they get rage or whatever.
See, They get weapons of the long war.
Veterans.
Along.
Veterans and
Really
just
good.
how Auspex
Yeah.
is for. So see, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. And I actually, so you can make your own Primaris with that stupid strategy, which is a really good stratagem. But
Yeah. No.
weapons of the long war.
Save
so.
my bacon today. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what.
So like, yeah. It just, not to interrupt you, but it just popped into my head. Like that's something that's universal.
yeah.
to Chaos,
Yeah.
so.
It's really good. Chaos's mechanic is getting to swing again. That is what they get to do over and over again. Swing more, swing again. Once they get into close combat, they're pretty.
They're already
beastly.
too good. They attack twice. Berserkers are really good.
Berserkers are amazing.
Yeah. Tyranids are the real problem.
Bring dread.
Yeah, they're good at everything.
Good, but not great at everything. That's
No, they're
But
great
they're-
at
They're
combat.
good is better than a lot of factions.
They're-
strong point.
They're awesome in psychic phase.
Shooting is.
They can
They're
shoot
fast.
good.
They're durable.
They can, they run like crazy.
They're
And in
combat
close
is
combat, they just
incredible.
murder. I got destroyed 2 days ago by Jake, his tournament list. Like, he ate my Death Watch, just done. My Custodies, they died turn 1. I was like, oh no. That's when I knew the game was over. I was like, all right, it's over. But yeah, so no, they're insane. And then if they're psychic.
And they can fight
abilities,
again. Even monsters can fight twice.
Fight again, yeah.
It's a
Fly.
great mechanic.
Shut
Fly,
it down.
fly.
You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead. Shut
Yeah.
it down. Go home.
Put them. It's too
Go
bad
sit
you
in
got
your
rid of
corner.
yours, man. I think you would have liked that.
Yeah, I really do too.
I think you would have liked that.
I think so too, but there was so much more I would have had to build paint. It was like I'm almost done with mechanic. I had a second army basically of Mechanicus in the wings already
Yeah.
built. It was like, if I'm gonna pick one, I'm not gonna have any time. For
You got
anything.
some passing compliments in that today. I know you were on stream and didn't get to hear it. Another player walked by and said, "Did Jeff actually paint that?" And I said, "No, he hired somebody." No.
Oh, damn it.
No. I said, "Yeah, Jeff's. I think he's getting close to like 3,000 points of painted AdMech."
Oh fuck yeah! I'd get 3,000 points.
Wow.
If you can unhinge the rule of 3 for sure, I got 2,000 points.
Well, all right.
I had probably close to 4,000, frankly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that dedication, man.
Yeah.
Well, guys, for me, like you said, G, while we did focus on the negative, we all kind of had a very similar version of the same negative, and it's all things that we feel are fixable.
Yeah,
it's not a
it's
broken
not
edition.
It's not unplayable to play the game. For sure.
8th
By
edition
far
is
from it.
by far my favorite edition, and the amount of new players and the amount of old players
Yep.
coming back,
Yep.
and the community growth. And you're seeing it at tournaments, you're seeing it on the local level, you're seeing it on the narrative level. People are painting their stuff, people are enjoying the hobby.
Yep.
It's a great time for 40K right
Yeah.
now.
Absolutely.
So, Jeff, why don't you take us out, man?
I roll one, so you don't have to.
Chainsword Diaries is brought to you by Hammerhead Games. Check them out for all of your gaming accessory needs. Chainsword Diaries is coming to you from Immortals Inc. Studios.